welcome to another episode of Ride a Lesbian with me, Marianne Sheridan, your token lesbian. And it's on location Thursdays, and here I am on location from my car. All right, that's the best thing I can do for today, being, as you see, I'm in the same clothes, same attire as Wednesday's episode, and I'll tell you why that is. You want to know why that is? I'm going to tell you right now why that is. Why? That's because I just finished filming Wednesday's episode, and now I'm filming Thursday's. How about that? In an effort to get back on track for you, my faithful viewers. And I do thank you for that faithfulness. Now, getting on to today's topic. Today's topic is, shall we remain friends with ex-partners? Ex-lovers, ex-husbands, ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, ex-partners, okay? And my thoughts on that are, I think bottom line there is aside from the physical relationship you have with that ex, with what you had with that ex, I mean, you had an intimate relationship, and if things didn't work out in that arena, from my own life experience, I also had a friendship with my partners. And for that reason, I say that I think you can have a very healthy relationship with an ex. And pardon the helicopters flying over, they might be looking for me. You never know. However, there were a couple of cop cars here a few minutes ago, so there could be some maniac on the loose, which goes back to a prior episode when I told you that everybody that commits a crime ends up in Florida at some point in time. Now, that's going off the beaten track. Back to having, continuing a friendship with an ex. Okay, obviously you can't always do that. It cannot always be achieved for one reason or another. But I always feel you love that person. Obviously, you wouldn't have been with them if you didn't love them, hopefully. I mean, yes, I know there's some people out there that don't. They just run around using people, or it's just a physical thing, whatever that case may be. To each his own, you know, whatever sinks your ship. That's what I say. A rusty nail would do the job. Yes, it would. Then it could give you that botulism. But that's some other story. It has to do with throwing your food on the floor, which I never finished that. By the way, when I threw that food on the floor, and I never explained to you exactly why I was doing this, I didn't totally lose my mind. What it was they said that if you drop food on the floor, I just wanted to clear this up because I saw that I did that half-assed and I was frustrated and whatever, and I apologize. But the reason that I did that experiment is because they had said, scientists and everything and all these tests said that if some food should fall on the floor, if you pick it up and eat it within 5 seconds, and in some cases they say 30 seconds, but within that time frame, it's okay. There's no bacteria on it. There's no nothing. You're not going to, drop dead. Your spleen and pancreas aren't going to go ape shit and, fall into your socks or anything like that. You're not going to lose a great aunt or nothing. Nothing's going to happen. You're not going to wake up and find your ass in an ice-filled tub with your kidneys missing and somebody selling them to some kids in Ethiopia or something. No, that's not going to happen. So that's why I did that episode. Back to today's episode. Of course, I have a tendency to ramble on, and so apologies there. Now, yes. As far as exes, I think it can be done. If you're in another relationship and it's a solid one, and of course it's all built and surrounded on trust, then I would think there wouldn't be a problem. However, we all know that it's not always the case, that, there's time to time you have an ex that is not willing to just continue to be friends, or hasn't gotten over the hump, or has a vendetta against you for whatever reason. You hurt them or whatever, and they're just not over that, or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, what I have found is, in my experiences, is that you can. However, if you see that ex stepping across the line, making remarks or making gestures or offending your present love, that's when you need to nip it in the bud. And I will say this, and I will say this on camera, and I always say I have nothing to hide, and I'm not ashamed of what makes me me and all the mistakes and everything else in my life. But I am guilty of allowing some exes in the past, over the years, to continue to be a friend, because that's just me. But they had other ulterior motives, and it got a little ugly with at that time, my present, with the woman I was with, and it was very disrespectful, and I had to stop it. I had to nip it in the bud, and I made some mistakes, and I may have let the ex linger a little too long as a friend, and So yeah, that can happen, but for the most part, really, I think that it could be possible, and sometimes I think it's a shame that it's not, because you did have that friendship. Hopefully you did have that bond aside from just a physical bond. And if we can't just all hold hands and sing Kumbaya, what is it all worth? That's what I say. And that, my friends, is all I have for today's episode of On Location Thursday. I will come back at you tomorrow, and I promise I will change the clothes. Yes, indeedy, I will, and we'll see if we can't do that live phone call or the semi-live phone call for Friday's episode. With that, kids, that is all I have. Don't forget, ride a lesbian.